Yeah, I think Obama's move to the center on Iraq shows how radical the Democratic Party's position on Iraq has been for the last year and a half. Really unprecedented almost in American history. For a party to vote in Congress consistently to pull the plug on a war effort in the middle of that effort. I mean, the Democrats turned against Vietnam, but that was late, and they never could actually vote to actually cut off the support for U.S. troops fighting in the field. The Democrats were once the surge started to work, once the way to end the war became to win the war, the Democratic Party's position was untenable. Obama sees that it's untenable, and he is not going to stick to it, I think, and I hope. I mean, I just can't believe he'll come into the office as President of the United States and seriously say, I don't care about the facts on the ground. I don't care whether leaving 50,000 troops there with minimal casualties, which could help complete a devastating victory against al-Qaeda, could help complete a repudiation of Iranian influence in the region, could help advance U.S. interests throughout the Middle East. All of our allies want us to stay there, but I don't care. I'm pulling out. I don't believe Obama would do that as president, in all honesty, and I think he's signaling that now, and I think he's smart to, because it's his biggest vulnerability. Is he ready to be commander-in-chief? That's what Hillary Clinton gained ground against him on in the primaries. That was the issue she used against him, and he's trying hard to not let McCain have that advantage in the general election. People have not appreciated the significance of the victory in Iraq. I mean, it is going to be a huge deal, assuming we stay the course and finish the job, which now looks eminently finishable. I mean, al-Qaeda is being routed in Mosul as we speak from its last redoubt in northern Iraq. As Fred said, Maliki has turned on the Shia militia. There's now a pretty good unity government. They're going to have provincial elections at the end of this year, national elections a year from now. We are going to have a real victory in Iraq. 2 years ago, it looked like it could be Vietnam. It really looked like we might just have to flee and acknowledge a defeat to our enemies with much worse consequences in the Middle East than I think the Vietnam defeat implied. A year ago, frankly, I thought it would be Korea. An acceptable kind of stalemate that would allow us to leave with honor and with an adequate resolution that would allow for some stability in the region. But now I think we are just we have a real chance at flat-out victory. And the key for the next president, and this is why it does matter, I think, whether it's McCain or Obama, is to capitalize on this victory, not to sort of minimize it and to say, oh, well, maybe we've won, we've got to get out. We've got to capitalize on the victory the way we capitalized on the victory in World War II and stabilized all of Western Europe and laid the groundwork for rolling back the Soviet Union. I mean, this could be a huge moment in the history of the Middle East.
You have such an investment in Iraq. You and Fred, I mean, it's just, to me, you guys are, whistling by the graveyard, ignoring the fact that the tremendous mistakes that have been made, ignoring the fact that we don't have the troops necessary to go into Afghanistan and actually fight al-Qaeda, ignoring the fact that Israel and Iran appear at, loggerheads and potentially explosive heads that could lead us into all sorts of nightmare scenarios. No, you say, oh, how can you ignore the good that's going on in Iraq? Well, if there's so much good, if there's so much, if we're going to see political progress, why? We've gone through elections, taking us nowhere. We have there on the ground more Americans now, I think, than at any time, and they are trying to hold together this fragile scenario so that you can have some political progress. But it's not that the Iraqis have made such tremendous gains that you would sit here on this Sunday morning and say, you know what, let's wave the flag. What a tremendous thing this has been for America. This has been a total disaster. It has been tremendous.
The last year and a half is one of the tremendous achievements in the U.S. military in the last 50 years, and I would say, to give President Bush credit, a great achievement for the country as a whole. We were losing a war that would have been would have resulted in a disastrous outcome for U.S. interests, not for me or Fred or George Bush, for U.S. interests in the Middle East, and now we're winning that war. That's a pretty impressive achievement by this country, which was allegedly afflicted by a Vietnam syndrome, couldn't tough it out, couldn't take it. Bush reversed course and strategy, put in a new commander, we're winning the war. That is a very big deal.